Smart Solutions. Add-on desired.
Hello children, my name is Santa Rao, IIT Mathematics Facilitator associated with Untitled Solutions. In this video, you are going to learn about data handling. What are the types of data and who introduced this data and basic concepts of data handling. Let us see in this video, and based on this you will see some problems as well. Let us do the first introduction part. Okay, this data handling firstly introduced by Sir Ronald Fisher. He has introduced data handling. Here the purpose of the introducing this chapter is it is being used in all the fields like planning, projects, government budgets, population analysis, like census in every 10 years we are going to see, and share markets, student data analysis, and these are the purpose of this introduction of this chapter. So next let us move on to the next slide. Well, what is data? Why should we collect the data? The data means gathering information, collection of information in the form of numerical terms, like you have the example number of boys and girls in a school. These are the examples for data. Details of rainfall in various towns, like year wise, like last year what was the rainfall and this year what would be the rainfall, and information about population in India. For example, how many 18 plus people are there, below 18 and below 10, and male, female. This is the information where we collect the data. Students information in various categories. Various categories means age group. Number of vehicles produced in different years, like 2020, what are all the Maruti Suzuki has been introduced the models, like that. Any company data can be collected as numerical forms. What are the advantages of collection of data in numerical form? Let us see that. What are the advantages? It is easy to separate data into particular groups or categories. That is the first advantage. It is easy to analyze and interpret the data. Third advantage is it is easy to identify and find the values of required information. Whatever, for example, you are collecting a data of a rainfall for the past 10 years. So what would be the this year or next year, what would be the rainfall? We can predict it by looking at the data. So and so year is this much rainfall is happened some particular town, and so time from June to August, this is the rainfall and so town. So we can predict it whether it will be rainfall will be more or less and all. These are the advantages. What are the tally marks? Tally marks are used to organize the observations, record every observation by a vertical mark, but every fifth observation should be recorded by a mark across the 4 earlier marks, like this. For example, if you want to represent the 5 observations, means after 4th observation you have to cross it. That is called 5th observation, which is crossed. We depict each observation with the help of tally marks. For example, you can see in this, we have a group of persons and their sizes of shoes. The tabular form representing the tally marks is as shown below. Size of shoes 5. There are 5 students, so 5 you can write. In total you have 5. Every 5th line you have to cross it. 6. Shoe number 6. 5 plus 3, which is 8. Shoe number 7, there are 10 people. 5 plus 5, 10. Shoe number 8, 5 plus 2, which is 7. Shoe number 9, there are 2 students, so you can write as a tally marks. Third column you can write in numerical form, number of persons. Next, range of data. How to find the range of data? The range means the difference between largest value and smallest value, that is gives you range of the data. For example, the marks obtained by 10 students of a class in mathematics is given like this: 25 out of 25, 25, 25, 24, like this is given. The highest mark is 25. There are 2 students has been scored 25, and the lowest mark is which is 5. Okay, and what would be the range? So 25 is the highest minus lowest, 25 minus 5, which is 20. That is the range of data. Here is difference between maximum and minimum values. Raw data or ungrouped data. What is raw data? The data which we collect as it is, that is called as raw data. If the collected information is presented randomly, then it is called, in other words, it is called raw data. Okay, once again, if the collected information is presented randomly, then it is the raw data. That is, collection of observation gathered initially is called composite raw data. Okay, let us see with the example. The marks obtained by 30 students of a class in mathematics test as follows. You can see this. Okay, these are the marks of 30 students on a scale of 100. Out of 100, these are the marks in mathematics, those who scored. Okay, this is, there is no group, randomly we picked. Okay, one student got 29, one student 24, 50, 10, 15, and so on. Okay, this is the example for raw data we have collected for 30 students. In this above information, initially or original form of data is called raw data, whatever we have collected. Okay, you may ask, these are the following queries you may ask: how many have failed in the exam? Next, how many got above 70? And number of students with average or good performance in the exam are difficult to analyze because there is no group. We have to count. For example, you want to find, okay, 40 and above are pass. Out of 100, 40 and above are pass. That means we have to check 0 to 39 marks, whoever scored, there comes under failure group. And the students who got 70 marks, if we say that is the average mark, above 70, we have to come bring it to the one category. And the students who got good performance, for example, we gave like 80 plus whoever scored, so they are good performers. So like that we have to put group, then only we can analyze the data. If the data is raw data, so it's difficult to identify these are the who are the failed students, who are all the average, who are all good students, and best performers and all. We can't find out when it is a raw data. Next, okay, disadvantage of raw data or ungrouped data: if number of values are more, it is very difficult to analyze the raw data. Identifying different categories of data in raw data is some time consuming. Just now we discussed who are failure, who are average students, below average, above average, and good performance. It is difficult. That is the disadvantage of raw data. Next, what is the grouped data? If the raw data is classified or divided into groups or classes according to the requirement, then it is called grouped data. Now we spoke about that. Below 40 are failures. Okay, if we have to categorize, below 40 is failures. 50 to 60, yes, average student. 60 and above, yes, good. And 70 above, very good. Like that, if you categorize, that is comes under grouped data. Class intervals. Dividing data into groups or intervals are called class interval, containing minimum and maximum value. These values are called limits, upper limit, lower limit. Each class has lower limit and upper limit as well. Lower limit means which is minimum value, upper limit means which is maximum value for that particular interval. Now let us see what are the lower and upper limit of a class. The starting and end values of each class are called lower limit and upper limit respectively of that particular class. Starting value is lower limit, ending value is upper limit. Example, if the class interval is 1 to 20, then the lower limit of class is 1 and upper limit of the class is 20. This is the class interval 1 to 20. This is the lower limit and this 20 is the upper limit. The mid value of a class interval is called its class mark. For example, 1 to 20 is there. Mid value would be 1 plus 20 by 2, which is 10.5. Okay, that is called as the class mark. The 10.5 which is called as class mark. Next, class boundaries. What are the class boundaries? The average of upper limit of a class and the lower limit of a succeeding class is called upper boundary of that class. I will show you the example. The upper boundary of a class becomes the lower boundary of that next class. I will show you the example. What does it mean? Okay, you can see here length or size of the class. The difference between the upper and lower boundary of a class is called length of the class, or we can say it as size of the class. In this example, the class intervals of marks and number of students in each category are as follows. That means 1 to 20 marks, whoever scored, there are 4 students. 21 to 40 there are 8 students, like that. 41 to 60 there are 12. 61 to 80 there are 40. 81 to 100 there are 25 students are there. In above table, okay, these are all 1, 21, 41, 61, 81. These are the lower limits, and 20, 40, 60, 80 and 100 which are called upper limits. 1 to 20, what is that 1 to 20? Which is named as class intervals. 21 to 40, that is one particular class interval. In this 21 to 40 class interval, this 21 is lower limit, this 40 is the upper limit. Okay, this is about the length and size of the class interval. See, these basics if you learning now, so it will be easy for you when you solve the problem. Okay, they will ask you what is the upper limit, what is the lower limit, what is the mid interval and all. So that is why. Okay, procedure to find the size of the class. How to find the size of the class? Upper bound of the class, for example 1 to 20 class interval, average upper limit of class 1 to 20 and lower limit of class 21 to 40. That means here is lower limit of this class is 21, here upper limit of this class is 20. So average you find it out. 20 plus 21 by 2, which is 41 by 2, 20.5 is the that average class intervals. Next, upper bound of class 1 to 20. What is the upper bound of class 1 to 20? Which is 20.5, which we found it. Now let us find the lower bound. Lower bound means, for example 1 to 20 class interval, okay, and 21 to 40 another class interval. Those lower boundaries how to find? Okay, lower boundary upper boundary of the first interval which is 40, lower boundary of the second interval which is 41, average 81 by 2 which is 40.5. that is the upper bound of the class interval, which is 40.5. This upper bound of this class 21 to, this is not minus, 21 to 40. that is the class interval. So that is 40.5, that is the upper boundary of 21 to 40. Next, now the length of the class, let us find out what is the length of the class. You have 21 to 40, upper boundary is, and you have to subtract the lower boundary, that means upper boundary is 40, okay, that means there 40.5 which we made, right, 40.5 upper boundary. Here lower boundary which is 20.5, you subtract them, which is 40.5 minus 20.5, which is 20. That is the length of the class. That means how much size or length of the class, how many students are accommodated in that particular class interval. Therefore, length of the class 21 to 40, which is equals to 40. Since the length of each class interval should be equal, therefore lengths of class or size of class are given table. Okay, that means in the previous example you can see that the previous table, if you look at this table, you can see the lengths 1 to 20, there are 20, 21 to 40, 40. So these are all class intervals, are class interval widths are same, 20, 20. Next, what is the frequency of a class? Frequency means the number of people or number of observations or in a particular class interval, that is named as frequency of a class. We represents with the letter lowercase letter f. Okay, this is the frequency of a class. Steps followed when preparing the grouped data. What are the steps when you prepare a grouped data? First one, find the range, that means the highest value minus lowest value range, that is called range. Step 2, the lowest and highest values of data should be covered in the classes. Well, third step, the lengths of class should be the same for all the classes. Okay, that means here is example, you can see 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 21 to 30, every class interval the length is 10. If you take like this 1 to 9, 9 to 15, that means here is, for example, 9, here is you have 6, 5 something, so it is wrong. You have to take it uniformly, the difference must be, the length of the class should be same. Step 4, tally marks should be marked for each class. You remember when you draw the tally marks, for every fifth number you have to cross it. After every 4 tally marks, fifth tally mark should be crossed for convenient of counting. We made this one for convenient of counting, we made this. Next thing, advantages of grouped data. Collection of data in the form of numerical figures. Okay, that is one of the advantage. The data can be grouped and presented with clarity, that is the second thing. Third advantage is it is easy to analyze, and it is easy to interpret the data in the form of graphical representation also fine, that is also by grouped data, it is one of the advantages. New discoveries can be made and estimated can be done. Okay, like previous example, that rainfall example, if you last 5 years what is the rainfall in this particular term, based on that we can collect the data, or we can predict what will be happen next 5 years. For that purpose we can use this grouped data to analyze easily. Next one, what is the arithmetic mean? Okay, arithmetic mean is a number that lies between the highest and the lowest value of data. For example, what is the mean? There are 5 students who have written their marks has been received. One out of 25, one student got 20, one is with 18, one is with 17, one is with 21, one is with a very low score, which is 6. Okay, these are the marks of 5 students in a unit test out of 25. What is the mean mark, or we can say what is the average mark of these 5 students? How to calculate? You have to calculate by adding all the numbers, add all the marks, 20 plus 18 plus 17 plus 21 plus 6 and divide by the number of students which are 5. That is, sum of the marks by number of students, which gives you the arithmetic mean or arithmetic average. Okay, you no need to write in descending or ascending order. It's not required here to write the arithmetic mean, to find the arithmetic mean.
Add-on solutions. Add-on